Are you ready for the annual Social Connections Summit? It's happening August 5th and 6th. This year's summit theme is all about building trust and connecting authentically. That's in both your personal and professional life. Experts, coaches, and social wellness practitioners from all over are going to gather to this one spectacular event to help bring the joy of connection, community, and camaraderie to you. If in your personal life you feel unsupported with your current social circles, or if you don't have a group of peers that are close to you in age and share your interests and lifestyles, if you feel shyness or anxiety when meeting new people, this event is for you. It's going to help you improve your personal life. And in your professional life, if you feel more like an outsider than a team member in the workplace, if you feel like you don't have peers at work that know what's important to you, or if you feel like you always have to go along to get along, you need to be at this event. I promise you, you will leave empowered with skills and knowledge to create the social, emotional support that you need in both your personal and professional life. You don't have to just be friendly at work. You can actually be friends. Come find out how. Don't wait. Get your tickets now. VIP ticket holders will receive private, personalized one-to-one coaching session from up to 3 different coaches of their choosing. That's right. VIP ticket holders will receive private, personalized coaching. If you've been afraid to invest in a coach, this is your opportunity to test drive. If you want an experiential learning environment like none other, where you're going to gain insight from world-class professionals, be empowered by personality tests like the Enneagram and DISC assessments, and have an opportunity to network and share your experiences with others who feel exactly as you do, get yourself to the annual Social Connections Summit happening August 5th and 6th. Go to patternsofpossibility.com to get your tickets, or check the link in the show notes. I'll see you there. Hey, what's going on? My name's Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to explore what happens when you have a well-meaning friend who's trying to help you, but they end up hurting you. How do you deal with these situations? Do you yell at them? Do you be calm? Do you never talk to them again? In this episode, we're going to talk about 3 options that you might choose that are going to shape your relationships. Are you ready? Let's go. Not too long ago, I had asked a friend for help. I had wanted some ideas for what they had done to improve the scheduling process, because I'm a solopreneur. I'm out here trying to keep things together, and once upon a time, I just felt completely overwhelmed. I didn't know how to plug this in, to plug that in, and I was just doing way too much. And I figured I'd ask somebody who had more experience with scheduling how they did their thing. So I was really grateful that they had set some time aside for me. I'm really grateful that they'd set some time aside for me the next day. That was like really quick, you know? So I felt that we had a better relationship than just like kind of a networking relationship. You know, they could actually make time for me. I could actually call them on the phone and we could actually do something. So fantastic. So during their conversation, though, as we were talking, we left the topic of scheduling, and they started to give me some unwanted advice. And what I find fascinating about this is that they actually said, most people don't like what I'm about to say. Most people don't like that. And they proceeded anyway. And I understand that their intention was to be really helpful. They were trying to help me. I feel like they dropped everything. But they really made time for me to talk to me and support me and with this problem that I was having. I was really grateful for that. But when they started to give me this advice, when they started to share with me this thing, it wasn't helpful. In fact, I was really a bit frustrated. I felt criticized and I was annoyed. And I had a moment there where I could decide what I was going to do. Like, do I tell them? Do I not tell them? Do I just try and brush it off and say thank you or whatever and have a continue trying to figure out the scheduling thing? And it's always concerning because you don't know how they're going to react. They might just throw a fit or they might be receptive. But most people, in my experience, most times I would do is just kind of let it go. And I would ignore the feelings that I had behind the situation. So I wonder, what would you do? Have you been in a situation like that where, you went to somebody for support, you went to somebody for insight, and they gave you advice and they told you basically you should do this, you should do that, and you didn't ask for that. You really clearly wanted something else. Now, it's a tricky situation to be in, of course, right? They're trying to help you, but you want your needs to be met. What do you do? What do you do? Well, I have 3 different options depending on the kind of person or depending on the type of relationship with the person that you want to have. So, number 1, you can just ignore your needs and continue to receive the input and then discard it later. You'd be like, thank you so much for your advice. Fantastic. It was great. And you can be all mad underneath the surface, but never express it to that person that you're talking to. I think this is good if you're interested in just having a shallow relationship or not even a real connection with this person. You just don't even bother to tell them because you already know in your mind that you're just never going to talk to that person again. You're just never going to bring those kind of things up again. You're never going to open up to them again. And communication, authenticity, vulnerability are required if you want a deeper connection with someone. So this person, you just wrote them off. They're just not getting it. So you ignore your needs in this situation and just know you're never going to talk to him again. That's one thing you could do. Those are people that you just have to tolerate for a moment. So number 2, you can thank them for their input and then redirect the conversation back to the original topic. And I think this is good for casual connections that you don't know very deeply and you don't want to get to know any better. It's kind of like, you're taking care of yourself. The difference between the first one with ignoring your needs, but you're taking care of your needs by addressing the fact that they're talking about something that you're not interested in. Say, hey, this is great. Thank you for your input, but I'm going to do something else. And then that's it. You never tell them how you feel about it. You're not annoyed about it. You just redirect it. So like I said, I think that's great for casual connections, for people that just want to be like, you met at a party or like maybe they're a friend of a friend and you want to be polite. Those are the people that you'd share with. And the third one, you can tell them how you've been impacted. And of course, this is my favorite. I like to tell people how I feel all the time. I like to hear how people feel. But what you're going to do is share with them how you feel about their behavior. And this is going to help them understand your needs more. These are for people, this technique is for people who you really want to get to know. Because again, it takes a vulnerability and openness to connect with someone. And when you share your feelings, that's a sense of vulnerability. That's vulnerability all the way. All it is, vulnerability, in my humble opinion, and the way I look at it, is that you express the feeling that you have openly. You're very clear about it. And what's scary about being vulnerable is that other people could demonstrate that they don't care about how you feel. And that's what hurts a lot. They're not interested. They won't acknowledge it. They'll deny it. That hurts. And so when you tell somebody that you're upset, it's still a sense of vulnerability. Specifically, why. You tell them why, and they may reject it. And that hurts, right? But you only do that for people that you want to be close to, that you want to connect with. I strongly believe that any good friend or any good connection wants to know how they've been impacting you. Because I think about it this way, my friend is well-meaning. They're interested in helping me, and they spent the time and energy and effort to do so. but they haven't been helping. I think that they want to know if they're wasting their time or not. In fact, I think they want to know if they're pissing their friend off, right? So that would be the same for you. If you apply that to the people that you want to be closer to, you have to be able to tell them how they can meet your needs. Don't let them guess. Don't let them get away with things that really hurt you, because they're going to continue to do it unaware that is actually hurt you. And then you get upset one day. You're like, you've always been giving me advice when I didn't want it. And they're like so confused because you always just took it with a smile, right? All of a sudden, they're confused. Don't leave them that way. Connect with them so you can get your needs met and so they can help you in the way they want to, because they're your friend. They want to do that. So again, number one, you can ignore your needs and continue to receive that input. Those are people that you really don't care about. Number two, you can thank other people for their input and redirect the conversation back to what you want to talk about. This is great for casual conversations. Like I said, a friend of a friend you want to be polite with. And then the third one, you can tell them how you've been impacted. You can really open up and let them know. I know it's scary to do this one, but it's, in my opinion, the best one, especially if you want to connect authentically. And I want to leave you with this. If you're not able to talk about how you feel and be heard and be acknowledged, then are you really in a friendship? Are you really in a good connection? You deserve to have people who want to support you in your life. Tell them how you want to be supported. I'll be right back with the answer Reddit question. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. One-sided friendship. Please read. I posted here before, but some stuff happened and I need more opinions. All right, so 9 times out of 10, I'm the one making plans or initiating them. I understand life is busy and such, but when I see my friend hanging out with other people but don't make an effort to make plans with me, it's just draining. It's been 2 months and no plan initiated from her, so I stopped as well. Once she realized that I was somewhat slow ghosting or late and short with replies, she starts texting me random things like, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" My birthday is in a month, and she's never gotten me anything before, so it's an odd question to ask. Or she might send me random old pics of us or on Snapchat without any explanation. So basically, I can tell she realizes something is up, but I'm under the assumption that she just wants to keep me around or something. I'm her main cover for her boyfriend with her parents because I'm her longest known friend and her parents trust me. And ever since her major cover up with a hotel night with her boyfriend for her birthday and a photo shoot with my camera, I've noticed a huge lack of effort in wanting to hang out. I'm not sure what that means. Something happened and now the friend doesn't want to hang out. She was never the one to really initiate plans. And now that I look back at her text, the only time she did was when she was super desperate doing her boyfriend cover thing. And she needed me to take a picture of me to show her parents. Okay. So, but yeah, now reflecting back on it, it seems so one-sided and I feel so used. And I don't know why she's trying to spark random conversations that don't lead anywhere, but they don't make the effort to hang out with me, but post about their other hangouts with other friends. So this person is talking about this one-sided relationship, one-sided friendship. And this, I brought this up in this case about sharing your feelings with your friend. I'm always talking about sharing the impact of people's behavior. So this person is not being helpful. They're not being helpful at all. It's not one of these cases where the friend is trying to help the person who posted this, they just reach out randomly. But it's still, I pulled this up, but it's still a behavioral kind of thing. It's like your friend is doing something that is hurting you, harming you, and you're choosing option A, the first option, option one, where you just don't say how you feel about the thing. You don't say it. And so the relationship is like that. It's, you feel like you're being used because it certainly is happening. They only reach out to you for certain points and certain times. They don't reach out to you when you want them to reach out to you. Your needs are not met. And I believe that it is because they are not being fully expressed. Now, I'm not saying that this person, when you say, hey, I want you to hang out with me more, that they're going to honor that and they're going to be really interested in hanging out with you. That might not happen. But there's no clarity about seeing that. There's always this what if, maybe, sorta, kinda, I don't know, because it hasn't been spoken. This is the thing that keeps us in toxic relationships, that keeps us dragging on, because we really want to believe that something else will change. They'll figure it out. If we start ghosting, if we start making shorter texts, if we start replying later, then they're going to figure out that you are going away and that they're going to change their behavior and want to be like, oh no, I've got you. But what really happens, what change really happens if you say exactly what it is that you want from them. You tell them, hey, I want to hang out with you more, and watch their response and watch their behavior, because you're very clear. There's no ambiguity around it. But in this case, it's not clear, right? It's not clear. You are reflecting back. You feel like this is a one-sided relationship and you feel used, because that's what's happening. Whatever need that you have, whatever need for them to reach out to you isn't being met. And it's not being met because it's not being communicated. And it's not being communicated because it's scary. It can be scary to do that. Perhaps you don't know how to do that, because that was a lot of the struggles that I had. I didn't know what I needed until it was over, until I could reflect back on it. It's like, oh, what I really needed this person to do was tell me, reach out to me, talk to me. I really wanted to hear about what's going on in their life. I really wanted them to take interest in me, but I didn't know that I needed that, first of all, and I also didn't know how to express that to them. And even if I did know how to express it, this is how deep it goes, I'd be terrified that they would be upset with me and leave me anyway. It's all these layers that just keep us stuck. So we're at one. We're not going to tell them how we feel. At one is in step one or number one of the process that I talked about, the three processes earlier. We're there. So it says here also that the friend had reached out sometimes to say like, hey, how's your birthday? Or what do you want to do for your birthday? They're trying to make an effort. It feels like it. They're keeping you hanging on, thinking that something else is, they're interested in you, but you're suspicious of that. Rightly so. So if we were to look at number two, and we would say number two is, it's thank them for their input and redirect the conversation back to the original topic. It's a distraction, I would say. I think about that as a distraction. Somebody's reaching out to you to say, hello, how are you? What are you doing? As if your feelings about anything else that happened or didn't happen isn't valid or isn't worth acknowledging. So if we were to thank them for their input and redirect the conversation, you'd be like, oh, I'm doing well, thank you. Now let's talk about what my needs are. What I'd like from you. I don't want to say why. I never think it's great to say why. People really get defensive when they hear, why haven't you reached out to me? No. We want to say something like, so these are my needs. I would like you to reach out to me more often because I want to hang out with you. I'm your friend. And then finally, the most potent and the most powerful is always to tell them how you feel. Like I said, it's really scary, but your relationship will change. You will get some certainty about what they are going to do, because it's wishy-washy now. Even though you're kind of seeing the writing on the wall, You see it, but you're like, plausible deniability of the way they treat you. I'd hope that you would get a lot more clarity and try to talk about your feelings. Or if you can't, if it's just way too devastating, if you really feel your feelings, if you really just focus on what's going on inside of you, you might feel that you're in pain, you might feel frustrated, you might feel rejected, you might feel sad, and you want to leave the situation altogether. Go ahead and do the ghost. Do it. Give it up. Do the ghost. Protect yourself first. I always say that. Protect yourself first. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.